This is Winnie, the rescued Wheaten Terrier. His mother, who adopted him from a rescue, had had Wheatens before, but not like Winnie. He was pulling really bad on walks. He wouldn't listen when he was distracted. An avid squirrel chaser, and the biggest issue was he was leash aggressive towards other dogs on the walk. His new owner did a wonderful job of rehabilitating him physically, getting his coat back in good order, figuring out he had a thyroid issue, and all of these things to nurse him back to health. But she couldn't get control of this. Hey. This is a clip of Winnie at the park when I first picked him up. This is him looking at squirrels. Just very intense pulling, very out of tune. He is even on a gentle leader, which is what goes around the nose and closes the mouth, and he's still pulling like this. Just really, really out of control, and there's something that makes this even more difficult, which is she walks on two canes, and she puts all of her weight on her canes when she moves. So when these types of events happen, there's nothing she can do but hold on to him. And luckily, she's very, very strong, which is why they lasted as long as they did without incident. But she lives in an apartment building and with lots of dogs, and it's impossible for both of them to enjoy each other when she's having to deal with this every day, or afraid that she's going to deal with it every time she walks out the door. So right here is something we worked on very heavily. The most important thing for me is that Winnie learned that he could not go out in front of her. So we worked with stairs, with curbs, and then of course with walking, with really waiting for cues and staying right by her legs. This was definitely the most important aspect to training him. Now here I'm proofing the wait command. You can see me even using affection to see if that triggers excitement and causes him to get up, because he usually loves to be pet and it causes him not to listen. So we're further proofing a new command, which is wait. We don't usually use the word wait. He's a perfect example of how sometimes you have to go outside your program and do something that's best for the dog. He was not doing well at default waiting at doors, at any threshold, at curbs and stairs. And he does listen really well, so we added in the command wait. And it really was like the missing puzzle piece for him that really helped. We don't usually use them. We want the dogs thinking as much on their own as possible, because that does result in a calmer dog. But in his case, it's something that he needed. He was so used to driving forward and being ahead that he needed a little bit extra help in understanding what it was I was asking of him. And since he's so good with listening, which is typical for his breed, that's what he needed. Now you guys might have noticed the interesting button I have in my hand right there. That's an attachment for the e-collar remote. So if you can't hold that big remote in your hand and access all the buttons, they have an attachment where you plug it in, you have it set at a certain level, and you hit the button and she can attach that to her cane. That way she can walk normally, and if she needs to hit the button to give him a reminder, she has access to that quickly, since she won't be able to carry around that big remote in her hand. Working Winnie around other dogs that were barking was really key for him, because that was something that he just could not tolerate, was other dogs barking at him or close to him, which is why being in an apartment building with barking dogs was so difficult. So we're just working him through his paces right here.
Say thank you, Labrador, for helping us.
So he's learning to be more and more comfortable around it and to just trust. Last but not least, it was important for him to be able to walk in a way where he felt like he had more freedom, with a very, very loose leash, and with dogs barking at us. It was very important the last few days to solidify that aspect of his training.
Good job, buddy. Sit. Good. Wait. Heel.
Also right there you see that even though I moved, he didn't move with me. He waited for his verbal command. That was another important thing that we worked on. And then here I just change up the pace.
Good job, let's go.
So we did a lot of fast and slow to change it up for him. I am so grateful for the opportunity that I had to work with Winnie and his owner. They are so dedicated and have followed through, and I'm so happy with the progress that they've made, and I'm so glad that I get to see them sometimes and get regular updates from them.